Austin, good to see you. A really important topic today, navigating the financial talk with aging parents. So, we're going to discuss when you need to have this talk with your parents and then what topics you need to include. But explain why having this conversation with our aging parents is so important.
Yeah, I think from a 30,000-foot view, really it boils down to, as a family, we all want what's best for our parents, and
Right?
that
Yeah.
really is so important to come at it from that angle, because having this talk and saying, "Mom, Dad, I want things to go as smoothly as possible, not only for you, but to make sure your wishes are honored and that anything you want to accomplish, I'm here for, and I support." So just coming at it from that angle, I think is really, really important.
Yeah, from a point of love. So, why do you think then we avoid this topic? And then, do you have any advice to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, I think it's easy to avoid really because let's face it, it's not a fun topic to discuss.
Right?
We're
Mhm.
discussing things like potential end of life plans, estate planning, making sure we have beneficiary designations on accounts. All of these topics are not very fun to talk about, but nonetheless, they're very important. And I think one piece of advice to really get the ball rolling is making sure that again we're coming at it from a point of support and love, and really lending that helping hand, not so much I want to dig into your financials, because that's really not what it's about. It's ensuring a smooth transition and that their wishes are carried out as closely as possible.
Right. Do you think that kids should be present at the parents' meeting with their financial advisor?
Yeah, this is a tricky question, and I think
Mhm.
really the answer is it depends. I could say in 2 instances, I would recommend that they are present, and number 1, that would be if it's a new relationship, right? If your parents are nearing the, let's call it last quarter of their life, and they're into their 70s or perhaps 80s, and they're getting a new financial professional involved, there's a lot of things that need to be discussed, and you really wanna make sure that you're there to support them. And number 2 would be if we have any signs of potential, dementia, Alzheimer's, or incapacitation, kind of unable to think clearly and really articulate their wishes and goals, then of course you're going to want to be there to make sure that again their wishes are being carried out by the financial professional.
Right, being their advocate. Right. Okay, so when you do have this conversation with your parents, you suggest you bring up a few specific topics. The first one being their current financial status and income.
Yeah, I think from a 30,000-foot view, we have to know where we are to know where we want to go, right? And that
Mhm.
starts with just gathering some basic financial information, whether that be income related or even account related. What type of accounts do they have? Where are they held? Right? You want to know these details because it affects every other area in their financial lives. So just helping them pull that stuff together is really a good starting point to really map out where they want to go.
Mhm. Next, make sure they have a plan for healthcare and long-term care.
Yeah, we all know long-term care is a very, very expensive item if we have to go through it. And we know it's very important to account for this in the financial planning process because it can derail a financial plan so fast. And not accounting for it, I would argue, is probably one of the biggest mistakes that we see in financial plans.
Mhm. And then last, of course, make sure that they have an up-to-date estate plan.
Again, not a fun one to talk about, Aaron, but I could argue this is the most important piece of a financial plan for an aging parent. And that's because we're obviously closer to the end of life than we are to the beginning. And life happens, it's always evolving and changing. So we want to make sure we're revisiting this estate plan very frequently. I would say at least once a year, and at least have these basic documents in place, things like powers of attorney, healthcare directives, wills, and when appropriate, perhaps a revocable living trust. And you can go to a qualified estate planning attorney to get these things in place, but make sure that your financial professional or advisor is abreast of these decisions and you're making them aware so they can make sure that all beneficiary designations also align with your estate plan.
Mhm. Austin, if somebody would like your help having this conversation with their kids or their parents, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, you can give us a call at 919-322-4113, or send us an email at info@patriotwealthnc.com.
Great. Austin, thank you.